Hello, so time for another video about Enigmatic King Elementals. This is deck that plays around Enigmatic Incarnation, which can be used at the end of your step to sacrifice another enchantment and then find a creature with converted mana cost to 1 plus the sacrificed enchantment's mana value. Okay, so this is primarily a Rise and Reef deck, and the deck plays around putting Rise and Reef to the battlefield just by playing it from hand or tutoring it with Enigmatic Incarnation, and then you can get a crazy value out of the Reef with copying it, just playing your elementals, and similar. Also, it's not just Reef, deck has a lot of cantrips, a lot of card advantage. All cards played for Enigmatic Incarnation are good by itself, and Enigmatic Incarnation just boosts those cards up. I recently made a video about this deck when I first time 5-0 with it in the league on MTGO, and so I won't go that detailedly into analyzing main and sideboard. Deck is unchanged still, and we'll just go through some games from another 5-0 league with this deck. So no changes, and let's just watch the games. Okay, so this was the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is it. This was game 1. Okay, so playing second, pretty good hand, Topias Pro into Rise and Reef turn 2, playing against Amulet Titan. Um, that kind of them playing the Urza Saga on turn 1 means I'll just have to play my Spreading Seas turn 2 and not the Rise and Reef, which is okay because just killing a land, killing Urza Saga is a pretty good play, and also drawing card. Okay, so they had a semi-growth chamber, but they had to return Valakut, and they immediately went for Azusa. And at this point, if I had another Spreading Seas, game would be over. But they were able to play to pay their pact cost. But that meant that I still have time to do something, to draw something. Okay, so I played another Topias Pro because it is free, and just played my Fury to kill the Azusa and make one Rise and Reef ability. At this point, my opponent is able to play the Titan if they have it, but it would trade with Fury on attack. But they didn't have Titan, which is even better, so I was able to play some spells, blink my Fury, do another 2 abilities, draw some more cards, kill their Dryad, which is pretty important. Also, I drew a bunch of cards with the Reef and Abundant Growth, so I was able to Prismatic their Amulet, and they conceded next turn. Okay, so that was game 1. Okay, they playing first again. I It was a kind of greedy keep because I only had one land, but I have a lot of experience playing this deck, and I know that often um, I can do this when on a draw and at least uh, some abandoned roads or some other way to draw a card. And luckily, I did draw a land here, and it was great because I was able to play my Spreading Seas on the Urza Saga to slow them up significantly. And they were pretty slow because of that, and I didn't draw my third land, but I had Utopia, so I was still kind of okay, in okay position, able to play Rising Reef next turn, also Fury if they play another Giant, which they did, so that was pretty good for me. Had two Rising Reef abilities, but unfortunately didn't draw lands. Here again, but I had my run, so which meant that I'll be able to get my land next turn, and I was still in an okay position. They were on 5 mana, and I had my fourth mana. Then I was able to play my Enigmatic Incarnation, which meant that I'll be able to copy Rising Reef on the end step, and then draw some cards, which is pretty important because they don't have Amulet. And I also drew Solitude, which is perfect against them. They had Titan on their turn, but without Amulet, it's not so significant. And I also drew my Solitude. So I wasn't in any hurry playing my Solitude, so didn't have to rush anything. I returned. I played Ren to return land to my hand. Also drew Besiege, so I was able to put it into my hand. And I also had another Spreading Seas if they play Dread or something like that. They had Cultivator Colossus and Slayer Stronghold, which was definitely a problem, and it depended a lot on their draws with Colossus ability. And they drew a bunch of they drew 3 cards, gained some life, put a haste on the Colossus, and Colossus attacked for 11, which meant that I can just let it through because I had Omnat in hand, and then I was able to gain some life. Uh, I had my deputy, so I was still good because and able to just do a lot of stuff here. And then I blinked my Omnat, which came to play end of turn and draw me 3 cards. Also, just having a Boseiju for 1 mana with Omnat meant that I can't really lose this turn. I already destroyed their Slayer Stronghold, that's why I didn't use my Boseiju, because I knew they can't give a haste to Titan, so I'm not in much hurry to kill it. and I could just come to my turn, draw some cards, and do some more stuff with the Incarnation. End of turn, I destroyed the Saga because I'll be able to return it with Ren. Then drew some more cards, had Magus in the hand, Ephemerate, Besiju, all very good cards here. No, I've there wasn't any point in playing fetch because of so many reef abilities. It's likely that I'll get 4 mana, whereas then I use my ephemerate to 2 times to draw some more cards. I played Magus, so they can't do any crazy stuff. They had to pay their pacts, which meant they don't have any more green mana, and just attacking wasn't any good for them, so it was pretty much a game over at this point. Then I blinked Omnat twice again, just drawing 4 cards each time, make sure to find everything I need. Um, and then repeated the same stuff again, just drew into more solitudes, more abilities, and then the opponent, of course, conceded. So that was game one. Okay, let's see game two. Game two, playing second again. Having an okay hand with Horizon Reef, Abundant Growth, just some standard stuff. Um, Usual stuff, how this deck plays out. They were on Heliod combo. Um, I have a lot of solutions for Heliod, but it's always tricky to play against Heliod. So they had a company on turn 3, and luckily their company was very bad. They just found Birds of Paradise, which is pretty bad. I decided to just go with Run, kill their creature. Um, I then drew a Prismatic Ending. I used it to kill Heliod, of course. They killed my Vren, but at this point I had a fetch in hand and dominance to play and to gain some mana, and then played my Showdown of the Skulls, which exiled 4 cards. So I decided it's probably best to kill Ballista right away, and my opponent conceded on a draw. So that was it. That was game one. Game two, playing second. Um, Opponent had good draws this game. So I lost this game, but it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky playing second post board. If they hit good with Coco, then it can be pretty hard to win against them. And I didn't have my solitudes to protect me. Um, yeah, I was on 3 omens, so a lot of contripping, but I also had to find my lands. And I succeeded in both to find the solitude and the land. Uh, okay, so it was an okay game. Pretty interesting. Uh, I again left all two both cards on top of Ren and Solitude, which are both are pretty great. Ending the Auric champion, and this time they had Heliod, so I had to kill a Spike Feeder in response to Heliod to uh, because they would gain infinite life. Uh, they can't gain infinite here, but they can gain a lot, and it's definitely a problem. It's not unbeatable, but definitely a problem. Okay, so at this point they had company turn after playing Helios, so that's pretty tough for me. They found Spike Feeder, which meant they can do infinite counters on both of their creatures, and having just one Solitude without Ephemerate meant this game is over. So I conceded. So game 3. Uh, let's just wait a bit. So for Heliod combo, I board in the Fury, Knight of Autumn, Besiege, I collect a Trophy because of the Walking Ballista, and that's it. That's all. Don't really have much for this combo. Also can put in Teferi because it can bounce Heliod. You can take out many times Blastful Mimic when adding Besiege to the deck. Uh, Also, you can remove probably Spreading Seas. Uh, Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And that's it. That's all you need. You can always take out one showdown when playing second. Um, so that's it. Just let's see the game 3 against Heliod. Much better than playing first. It's definitely far easier. I played the Spreading Seas on turn 1 just in case they're kind of mana screwed, and so they can play Auric Champion on turn 2. And I didn't need to play in Ren immediately, so I decided to play. It's more important to play my Rise and Reef and protect it with Ephemerate. Um, they have Pet to Exiles. As we saw that last game when they killed my Omnat with Pet Exile, and it was definitely deciding play for me to lose that game. They again, of course, had Heliod, but I had a lot of stuff at this point. Solitude with Ephemerate, also Collector Ophi to make sure I don't die, to Walking Ballista. They killed my Ryzen Reef end of turn, but it was okay because I was in a pretty good situation thanks to Enigmatic Incarnation, which exiled the Heliot. They had another, but I was untapped with Solitude and Ephemerate, so pretty good. They were on 3 cards, but probably didn't have anything good. And with Collector Ophi, which prevents Vulcan Ballista. I think this video wasn't shown until the end of turn. I sacked my Utopia Sprawl to copy my apparition, exiled El Heliod, and then they conceded. Okay, so um, let's see the next game, game 3. Okay, game three, playing first. It wasn't great hand, no, because I had no fetch. Otherwise, it's okay, and no forest to play my Utopia's Pro on. Uh, but it was keepable. I just had to draw one fetch to make kind of good hand playable. Unfortunately, didn't draw it, so I was definitely in a bad situation. I solicited their paladin in response to drum, so they uh, they have less mana, but they had Stoneforge Mystic. It didn't matter, but anyway, I had to kill that paladin anyway, so it was a necessary play. They played a chip, equipped it on Stoneforge, and I still didn't draw my land, which was pretty unfortunate considering I had two additional draws and five draws from turns, but in seven cards I haven't succeeded to find a land and I conceded. So let's see game two. Okay, so Hammer is pretty good matchup for this deck. I board in Besiege, Collector Rofi, Fort Spreading Seas, Knight of Autumn, Fury, and that's it. You can also board in Magus of the Moon, but it's not necessary. Sorry, something happened. This is not my correct list I was playing. Um, Never mind, I can't. Uh, I don't know. Computer messed out my list, so I can't really show you what I was taking out for those cards. But uh, I told you what cards I put in, and it's pretty good matchup in most cases. So playing first, sorry. Having a prismatic ending and Bran it's very nice. Um, they again played Sentinel and I again played Ren on turn 2, killing their Sentinel, letting them draw a card. But they don't play endings, so they're not able to kill Ren in this situation. So I was pretty sure I'm going to get back my fetch next turn. Also, immediately played ending on their Cigar Aid and Spreading Seas on Nexus. Didn't rush with playing Fury. I drew my Omen of the Forge and I killed the Giver of Runes. Um, Also played my Omen to see what I'll draw. I put a Rising Reef to hand and exiled one Fury to kill a Paladin in case they have some um, equipment in hand and so on. Okay, so of course played my Omnat, played Fetch. Uh, Pretty normal stuff. Played my Rising Reef and Prismatic Ending their Lavinia. So at this point they conceded, and that was it. That was game two. Game three, playing second again a bit tougher. Playing second game three post board, but and I also had to mulligan. But I had a Solitude, and just in case if they are not too fast, I'm a pretty good situation. They didn't have a turn one play, just a turn two Stoneforge, which is pretty good for me. Um, I'm kind of hoping I'll play Solitude turn three after I play my Resin Reef. They had Kadra here, but it wasn't such a big deal because I had Solitude and Reef for next turn. I drew Fury, which is pretty good at this situation. Left a card on the table. I thought it's more important to kill Giver and Stoneforge immediately. It was a pretty good situation at this point, just ephemerating Solitude, killing both their creatures, and having ephemerate again on my turn meant they can't play anything, but uh, luckily they had a very good play, another Paladin and Colossus Hammer, which means if they succeeded to draw another artifact, they would be able to equip Kaldra and Hammer on Paladin and kill me. Luckily, that didn't happen, but that was kind of only thing they could have, and I couldn't do anything about that. But luckily, they didn't find the third artifact, and then the game was over. Also had Spreading Seas, Collector Ophi at this point, holding back Ephemerate, so unbeatable. And that's it, I played Ephemerate and my opponent conceded. Okay, so let's see, let's check out game 4. Game 4 again playing first. Uh, Unfortunately, had to play Tapland on turn 2, but anyway, pretty decent hand. Playing first, having Vern is always great. Unfortunately, they had Spell Snare, which meant that they are probably uh, not on Murktide, but maybe some is it Control, Blue Moon or something like that. I had abundant growth, so I wasn't too scared of uh, Blood Moon. I started playing my Spreading Seas on their lands and trying just to cut them off their non-blue mana, which is a pretty good strategy. I didn't want to play my Teferi into counterspell this turn, so I was waiting until they tap out a bit more or when I have two spells to play. I played my Showdown, but they had, of course, a counterspell for it. So I just played my third Abundant Growth. Uh, they found Ragavan, which is a bit of a problem, but not too much. They countered my spell last turn, so they didn't have a counter for Teferi, but I just wanted to draw some more cards, and luckily I found a Solitude uh, for their Ragavan. They had to exile one of my Spreading Seas uh, to play so they have more red mana, and they decided against playing Ragavan this turn, which was pretty good for me. I found two pretty good cards with Omen, and at this point they didn't have any more counters, so my spells started Going through, they had a removal here. I played my ephemerate, but they countered it and killed my reef, attacked me with Ragavan again. Um, but I decided to use my Solitude because they were on 0 cards after that, which meant that I will be able to play my. They can't counter my Orion. I mean, they can, but they will only have 1 card from Mishra's Bubble, which is very unlikely that they will succeed to counter Yorion, and Yorion drew me 7 cards, so the complete new hand, and I played untapped land to protect my Yorion with Tawara. Why the video stopped? Just a second. I don't know why the video stopped, but anyway, yeah, that was it. Opponent conceded the game at this point. Okay, so game two. For this matchup, uh, sorry, this is also not uh, fully correct. My sideboard lists because I play Mystical Dispute instead of Wheel of Summer. But anyway, I board in definitely 2 Mystical Disputes in this matchup. I bring in Endurance and Rest in Peace because they most probably play Murktide. It's definitely Murktide deck. And also Teferi to bounce Murktide, and some Besiegers and Night of Autumns for Blood Moon, and also Fury when playing second for the Ragavans. And sorry, it's not usual Murktide deck, but still Fury can be good in killing Ragavan channelers and whatever they play. So that's it. Sorry for the mistake with the deck list. I can't find the correct one at this point because it was deleted for me. Okay, so playing second. I drew my Rest in Peace turn 2 and succeeded to let it through. They had Teferi, and I was able to play Rest in Peace again, but I just wanted to play my Teferi as soon as possible to uh, negate their counter spells. So then I bounced Magus of the Moon, played some more Utopia Scrolls, Abundant Growth, and of course my Rising Reef. They just replayed Magus and attacked with Dragon. I decided it's best for me to just trade trade with Ragavan. Okay, so at this point they played Murktide as a 3/3, and I had Endurance to protect myself, replayed Rest in Peace, and all other stuff, plus my Planeswalkers, and just holding Omen of the Sea. Magus of the Moon wasn't hurting me, so I didn't want to kill it. It was worse for them than for me because I had a lot of basic lands, Utopia Sprawls, Abundant Growth, so there wasn't any point in killing it. And I had other kid like the Fairy, Rest in Peace, and they weren't able to do anything, and they conceded. Okay, just a second, I have to. Okay, so short bathroom break for me. Okay, that's it. That was game 4, and Let's check out last game, game 5. Again, playing first, game 5, but that's pretty good for me. Um, my opponent was in Yavmot, and all creature matchups are okay for this deck, so it was a pretty good um, game 5 for me. They played, I killed Birds of Paradise with Ren, and I had the Fairy turn 2 to bounce their Young Wolf. Um I had the two endings, which is pretty good against their undying creatures. So first I played my Horizon Reef to see what will be the ability, and then played my Prismatic ending. So at this point, it's pretty unlikely that they will succeed to win this game. Because I had Enigmatic Incarnation and Omen of the Sea, which I can sack then. End of turn, of course, I sacked my Omen of the Sea, exiled the Endurance to protect my Planeswalkers, because I had another Horizon Reef in hand, so it wasn't necessary to play it immediately. Um I decided to play my Prismatic Ending, but I could also, end of turn, Secutopia, find Phantasmal Image, copy my Skyclave Apparition, but this is also fine. That also Phantasmal can copy Horizon Reef, which is even better because I wanted to play my second Reef. That's it. So pretty easy. Game 1 against Yagmoth. Okay, so for this, let me just find the correct deck list, so I can. Okay, so for this matchup, uh, I board in very little, just one Fury and Sanctifier and back to stop their uh, Get Off Messenger combo. And that's it. I don't have anything else. I also put in two endurances. If I have like a Fury or something, then I can play I can play Fury, target their undying creatures, and then play endurance. But it's not much. Um, Also, sorry, I forgot about Rest in Peace, which is great against their undying creatures. Okay, so you can take out you can take out you want all of these the reefs, the deputies, image and prince, skyclave apparition, somnat, solitudes, definitely. Fury can sometimes be kind of bad, but it kills Yagmoth, so you must keep it in also. Uh, I think I removed all spreading seas. Uh, I removed all showdowns, and I think one incarnation because I removed a lot of spreading seas. So that's it. Also, against Yagmoth, you can board in Magus of the Moon, but it's much better if you're playing first. If you're playing second, don't board it in. It can be kind of awkward. Okay, so let's see game 2. Okay, they playing first. Putting a young wolf, it's better for me than them having Mana Dork. I had decent hand with prismatic endings, solitudes, spreading seas, and I decided to play my resting peace as soon as possible to prevent crazy stuff they can do. They played the Necromancer for my Teferi. I left had just one. I left just one in main, so it wasn't a problem for me. Also, they seized for my Fury, and turn 4 I played my Enigmatic Incarnation and decided that Rest in Peace is no longer necessary for me. I just want to find my Skyclave Apparition to be able to copy it next turn, which was definitely great because they played Yagmoth with 0 cards in hand. I was just able to copy my Skyclave. I didn't even need to because I had a Solitude, so I could go for Sanctifier and back to grow my pressure. They did find another Yagmoth, but it's really not important without them having any creatures on the battlefield. I just attacked with my Sanctifier and of turn Sex Spreading Seas to copy my Solitude, killed again their Yagmoth. And that was it. They conceded. They conceded. They didn't have any chance. Game 3. Okay, so that's my second trophy with Enigmatic Incarnation in just a few days difference. Um, Deck feels pretty powerful. I had two 5-0 leagues in a row with it, so I did 10-0, which is pretty hard to do. And but this deck done it, and I really like it like this. And I didn't make any changes playing it later. Okay, so that's it. That was all from another 5-0 Enigmatic Incarnation Elementals video. Hope you liked the deck, and I will definitely play it in the future and make more videos of gameplay with it. And that's all. Okay.